What happens when leadership begins to hurt more than it heals? When the system you serve asks you to abandon yourself just to survive? Hi, I'm Dr. Claire Oliveros, and this is the Ascend Podcast, Real Stories, Bold Leadership. Today, we excavate, the liberatory practice of letting go of what no longer serves you. This isn't avoidance, it's agency. Before we begin, I want to honor the land where this recording takes place. This podcast is recorded on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Anishinaabe and Miwok peoples, the original caretakers of this land since time immemorial, and remain here today building community and lasting legacy. As we talk about excavation, uncovering truth, and removing what no longer serves us, I remember that colonization is a process of burial. It buries indigenous knowledge and sovereignty. True excavation means returning to what always was here, honoring indigenous wisdom that was never lost, only suppressed. Excavation is decolonizing. I am recording this podcast in early November, a powerful time for excavation. This past weekend, many of us celebrated Halloween and Dia de los Muertos with our families, friends, schools, relatives. These are rituals that honor what's past, what's buried, what wants to be remembered. And yesterday, on Election Day, many of us turned out and voted, and we witnessed historic shifts. The new mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani's election in New York City, and my state, California, passing the redistricting measure. But we are also facing a federal government shutdown that's gone on far too long, and the suspension of full SNAP benefits, impacting many of our friends, relatives, neighbors, community members, students. Our neighbors are struggling. So while we do our personal excavation, let's also show up for collective care. Donate to or volunteer at your local food bank, because liberation isn't just personal. It's about ensuring everyone has what they need to survive, thrive, and flourish. Excavation happening in every level, personal, communal, systemic, is what's required. And today I'll walk you through strategies to excavate. Hi, welcome back to Ascend. If you're new here, we're moving through the Rise Up method. Reclaim your voice, ignite your vision, sustain your energy, and now excavate what no longer serves us. And then next week, we'll move to uplift and end the season with progress together. Excavation is the courage to clear space for liberation. Not about breaking down, but breaking through. Some working definitions include: excavation is releasing old habits, narratives, and obligations that uphold inequity and self-erasure. A working definition for the goal is to reclaim capacity for healing, creativity, and community care. Then we move to action and reflection, called praxis, which is awareness, naming, boundary setting, release, and repair. I remember walking into my office one morning, a binder in one hand and coffee in the other, and feeling my chest tighten. It wasn't sudden, it was sediment. Years of carrying other people's crisis while minimizing my own in the context of higher education. I had learned to schedule my pain between meetings, translate my cultural wisdom into palatable bullet points, to smile through as if the room wasn't shrinking. That morning, I asked myself, what have I buried beneath the title of president or leader? Excavation begins with truth, naming what no longer serves me well. Some examples: overfunctioning to compensate for systemic under-resourcing, accepting the title of resilience as a substitute for real repair, or performing gratitude while tolerating the harm of the institutional practices. Naming it didn't break me, it actually freed me. Liberatory leadership asks us to name the air that we breathe, inequitable structures that normalize extraction and overwork for us, women of color, or respectability scripts that reward silence and perfection, and the burnout culture that treats rest as a privilege instead of a right. Mindfulness isn't passive here. It's precision. It's attention that becomes the precise way to separate what's ours to carry from what the system demands we hold, and we can give ourselves permission to put down. Practices for mindful excavation can happen in 3 steps. First, name and notice. This is awareness. Where in your body does this live? Your chest, jaw, maybe your gut? What story are you repeating to stay safe? And who benefits from you holding this all alone? The next step, draw the line. This is boundary setting. Play this script for yourself. Practice and role play. When someone asks you for something, you might say, in order to do this with integrity, I'll need X amount of resources and Y for my timeline. Without that, I'll have to decline. Block out some excavation hours on your calendar for reflection and repair. And you might try also identifying 2 to 3 people for mutual accountability and check-ins throughout the week. And the third step, release and replace. This is repair. Release one obligation that exists only for optics and replace it with a liberatory ritual, like a walking meeting or a 10-minute quiet window or community check-in that centers joy and wholeness. Excavation also uncovers grief. When we dig, we meet the pain beneath our performance. Grief for the years spent performing instead of being. Grief for the times we stayed silent. We should have spoken up. Grief for the little girl who believed she wasn't good enough. Grief is not failure, it's depth. Liberation requires grieving. Healing requires feeling. When you let yourself grieve the roles and beliefs that no longer fit, then you create space for joy. Because when you stop performing, you get your energy back. You start laughing louder, leading freer, and living more true to who you are. You cannot lead others to liberation if you're still trapped in beliefs that limit you. Excavation as leadership means modeling self-awareness, examining norms, and creating cultures where truth-telling is safe and encouraged. Ask yourself, whose comfort is centered here? Whose voice is missing? What belief or practice are we ready to release so something truer can emerge? That's how personal healing becomes collective liberation. Take a moment and reflect. What story, habit, or obligation are you ready to release because it keeps an inequitable pattern in place? I'd like to leave you with an Ingat Ka micro-meditation. Ingat Ka is the Tagalog word for take care. Find a place that's comfortable, and if it's safe to close your eyes, take a moment, feel your feet on the ground. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Place a hand over your heart. Name silently one thing you're ready to release. On the inhale, say, I see it clearly. On the exhale, I let it go. With each breath, imagine space opening around your heart, a room for truth and tenderness. Say to yourself, I can lead and heal at the same time. My boundary is an act of love. Carry that truth into your next meeting. Bring one brave boundary with you. Ingat Ka. Thank you for excavating with me today. If this resonated with you, I hope you'll join me for the upcoming Breaking Through Burnout workshop on Wednesday, November 19th. This will be a virtual workshop, a collective reset for your leadership energy. Register at drclareoliveros.com/workshop. Pre-registration is also open for my upcoming 2026 online course program called Liberation, Leadership, and Legacy, a 12-week course for Filipina American leaders who are ready to break free and break through in your leadership. Until next time, Ingat Ka, take good care of your spirits as you lead with heart. And next week, I'll have another solo episode focused on the uplift pillar of the Rise Up method. Until then, keep rising, keep ascending, and ingat ka.